being a business owner, it's great and whatnot, but it's also very, it takes a lot of your time, but then that's also why I believe highly in doing something you're passionate about, because if it's a business, then it's got to be something you love. Otherwise, it's gonna fall, and it's not gonna be something that you want to continue with. But I love my family, I love the bread and batter family, I love the customers that come in there that have become part of the family, so it's just really been a family thing to me. My name is Erin Gonzales. I'm a co-owner of Bread and Batter, and that's a small local family business, local family bakery there in Milton, Ontario. So I'm here just to talk a little bit of entrepreneurship here at Let's Talk Science, and I'm just sharing a little piece of my journey, because I mean, science, let's face it, you don't really think of bakery when you hear science, right? But there's a lot of it involved, especially in chemistry, and also just the structures of things itself.
Did you know that even in the chemistry of baking itself, I mean, something as simple as using melted butter or softened butter or cold butter, it can make a difference in the texture of the cookie. So it'll be crispy, chewy, or just rock hard if the recipe goes wrong, you know?
And if you could go back to Erin, that was pushing around carts when she was younger, what would you say to your younger self?
I would say keep pushing that cart. But going into high school and whatnot, I guess I would really tell myself to stop skipping class. I did it a lot when I was younger. And I think when I look back to it, it's just, I look back and I always have that I could have thought, you know, like I could have made it to honor roll, I could have done this. And I know for a fact that I really could have done it. And the worst thing I think about not being able to do something is knowing that you could have and not doing it at all.
Who inspired me? I would say, honestly, my hospitality teacher in grade 10. I remember his name, Richard Alfonso, and he was a teacher who my parents approached, and they said, hey, my daughter wants to go into culinary, can you convince her out of it? That's what it was, can you convince her out of it? And he said, you know what, throw her in a kitchen, see if she likes it. The moment she steps in there, she'll either hate it or completely love it, and if she hates it, she'll never think about it again. So they're like, okay, this is our chance. And then because of him, they threw me into a kitchen. They're like, hey, go get a job, you know, try and figure it out. So at the age of 15, I went and I got a job in the kitchen, and it was their regret at that time because I ended up loving it and I pursued it onward.
To be honest, I thought entrepreneurial skills meant that I had to know suppliers, I had to know the best products, the best ingredients, or just knowing the resources, or even just having knowledge of how to bake or how to do what you have to do depending on what business it is. But now actually being an entrepreneur, I realize that the skills isn't just those things. I mean, those things are a bonus, and those are things that you can learn along the way, but I think what it really is about is bringing business to life. I mean, you begin a business because you're passionate about something, and then that passion comes to life when you encounter your customers, when you encounter the employees. Being that beacon of some kind of passion in whatever you do, I think that's what being a successful entrepreneur is. Nowadays, people think that red velvet is actually, you know, some kind of cake with some kind of red food coloring and some kind of amazing frosting, right? But actually, the actual cake itself has some kind of science. Back then, the cocoa powder was so pure that the red comes from the reaction between the vinegar and the cocoa powder. Interesting, right? So that's an example of how science works into that.
I guess if I could leave the viewers off with anything, I would just encourage all of you to really just be open to anything that's thrown out there. I mean, there's no such thing as a silly dream. There's no such thing as something that's impossible. And as I might be sounding corny saying this, but I mean, even the word impossible itself, the word possible is in there. So I believe strongly in the fact that the only failure is when anyone stops trying. And so long as you keep going, as long as you keep carrying on to that dream, holding on to it, it really is just, it can be the greatest thing.